welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into the world of LED stadium lights.
That's right.
We've got a pretty fascinating market analysis just out April 2025 that really, well, shines a light on why these are becoming so popular. You know, sports arenas, big concert venues, all those huge outdoor spaces.
Yeah, it's a big shift.
So our mission today is really to pull out the key insights, understand what's driving this massive change.
Exactly. We'll look at the drivers, where the market is right now, some really exciting tech advancement.
And the challenges too, right? Can't forget those.
Definitely. We need to touch on the hurdles as well. Think of this as like your quick guide to what's happening in this surprisingly bright industry.
Okay, so let's start with the why. What's really pushing this growth? The report seems pretty clear. It's about energy efficiency and needing really bright lights.
That's the core of it. People want lighting that sips energy but delivers serious lumen output.
It makes you wonder why anyone wouldn't switch from the old stuff.
Well, precisely. Those traditional lights, your metal halides, high-pressure sodium, they're just showing their age. LEDs last so much longer, the light quality is just way better, and they really cut down energy bills. Plus, think about maintenance.
Ah, yeah. Less time sending crews up ladders, I imagine.
Exactly. That's a huge operational saving right there. It all adds up.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it feels like it's bigger than just the bottom line, doesn't it? There's this whole push for greener tech.
Oh, without a doubt. Sustainability is a massive driver. People want eco-friendly solutions now.
And governments are getting involved too.
Yep. Lots of initiatives promoting energy efficiency, giving venues that extra nudge. It's a mix of, economic good sense and environmental responsibility.
Okay, so let's talk scale. Can you give us the numbers? What was the market size and where's it head?
Sure. So the analysis pegged the market in 2024 at around 1,624.5 million US dollars.
Okay, 1.6 billion.
Right. And the projection for 2032, a pretty significant jump to $3,731.9 million. Yeah, that works out to a compound annual growth rate, a KGR of 9.8%.
Almost 10% a year.
Yeah.
It's substantial growth. What's fueling that kind of number?
It's a few key things coming together.
Right.
The big push to reduce carbon footprints, for one.
Right.
Then you have the wider adoption of smart lighting systems, which adds another layer of efficiency.
Okay.
And maybe just as important, there's a real focus now on enhancing the whole fan experience at these events. Lighting plays a big part in that atmosphere.
It all ties together. You mentioned a specific example of these new systems.
Yeah, Musco Lighting. Back in May 2023, they launched their next-gen LED system.
What was special about it?
Two things really stood out. Advanced glare control, super important for players and fans.
Definitely.
And integrated wireless connectivity. That lets operators make real-time adjustments, fine-tune brightness, save energy. It's a great snapshot of the innovation happening.
So zooming back to the present, that $1.6 billion market in 2024, what are the main trends defining it right now?
The biggest one is still that ongoing shift away from the old guard metal halide high-pressure sodium.
It just can't compete.
Pretty much. Less efficient, not as bright, shorter lifespan. Venues are moving to LEDs pretty consistently now.
And what's pushing that specific decision right now, day to day?
Well, there are just more sports events, more big concerts happening globally. That requires good lighting.
Sure, demand.
And lots of stadiums are getting renovated, which is the perfect time to upgrade the lighting system.
Makes sense. Rip it out, put in the new stuff.
Exactly. Plus, those pro-energy efficiency government policies we talked about, they're definitely helping move things along. That nearly 10% growth rate reflects all this momentum.
You also brought up smart stadiums earlier.
Yeah.
What does that really mean for the lights themselves?
That's where the Internet of Things, or IoT, comes in. It's about making the lighting intelligent.
How so?
We're seeing systems where you can control everything remotely, adjust brightness based on, say, how full the stadium is, or even the time of day, the weather.
A tablet? Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Or automatically. It allows for much smarter energy use and just more flexibility.
Very cool. Okay, let's pan out globally. Which parts of the world are leading this LED charge?
Right. In 2024, North America had the biggest slice of the pie, around 36%.
Why North America?
Mostly because you've got major manufacturers based there, plus those government incentives really help drive adoption.
Okay, who's next?
Europe was a strong second, holding about 30%. They have pretty stringent energy regulations and a big focus on sustainability projects.
And the rest of the world, where's the really fast growth happening?
That would be the Asia-Pacific region. They had 25% in 2024, but that's expected to hit 28% by 2025.
And the growth rate there?
Really impressive, around 11.2% CAGR. It's the fastest growing market by a good margin.
What's behind that acceleration in Asia Pacific?
It's a combination, really. Rapid urbanization means more stadiums and venues being built.
New infrastructure.
Right. Plus, professional sports leagues are expanding significantly there, and governments are actively promoting LED adoption. Think China, Japan, India. They're key growth areas.
So who are the companies actually making and selling these systems? Who are the big names?
It's quite a competitive field, but a few stand out. In 2024, Signify Holding had the biggest share, maybe 15%.
Okay.
Then Eaton, through their Ephesus lighting brand, they were around 12%. And Acuity Brands lighting had about 10%.
Recognizable names in lighting. What's their strategy to stay ahead?
Heavy investment in R&D. That's the main thing.
Focused on what?
Pushing energy efficiency even further, making the lights tougher, more durable for those outdoor conditions.
Why, they take a beating?
Exactly. And developing smarter features, better controls. That's where they're competing. Maybe one focuses on heat resistance, another on wireless integration.
Are we seeing companies merging or buying each other up?
Yeah, the report mentions that trend. Mergers and acquisitions are happening, usually to broaden their product lines or get a stronger foothold in different regions like Asia Pacific, where the growth is so strong. Competition's definitely heating up there.
Let's dig into the tech itself. You said LEDs are taking over. How does that break down compared to the older lights, percentage-wise?
Okay, so in 2024, LEDs were already about 60% of the stadium lighting market.
60%. Wow, already dominant.
Pretty much. Metal halide still had maybe 25%, and high-pressure sodium lamps held the last 15%.
And looking ahead just a bit, say to 2025.
The projection is for LEDs to climb to about 65% market share. That trend is strong.
Driven by?
Same things. Sustainability goals, regulations pushing efficiency, and that increasing demand for smart integrated systems.
Okay, speaking of smart systems, let's really get into those tech advancements. What's genuinely exciting here?
Well, the IoT integration is probably the biggest thing. It unlocks so much.
Like what, specifically?
Full remote control, for starters,
Okay.
adjusting lights from anywhere, huge potential for energy optimization based on real-time data, and even enhancing the show. You can do dynamic lighting effects, think pre-game hype, halftime shows, celebrating a goal.
Ah, yeah. Lights flashing or changing color with the action.
Exactly, making it more immersive for the fans right there in the seats.
That sounds pretty cool. Any specific examples of that being rolled out?
Yeah, back in April 2022, Eaton, remember, Ephesus Lighting,
Right?
they announced a big push on their smart stadium solutions. They focused on systems allowing instant brightness changes, fine-tuning light color,
Uh-huh.
and, crucially, achieving significant energy savings. That kind of control is gold for pro sports,
Mm.
affects the fan view, the broadcast quality, everything.
And it's not just the controls, right? The actual LED chips are getting better, too.
Oh, absolutely. Constant innovation there. We're seeing higher efficiency chips, more light, less power.
Okay.
Better ways to manage heat are also vital. Heat is the enemy of LED lifespan and performance, especially outdoors.
Right. Needs good cooling.
And better optics. Think of it like focusing the light beam precisely where you need it, reducing glare and wasted light spill. Better for viewers, less light pollution.
Earlier, you highlighted Asia Pacific for market growth. Are they also leading on adopting these newest technologies?
They're definitely adopting rapidly. We mentioned their share climbing to 34% by 2025 with that roughly 12% growth rate.
Driven by.
Big infrastructure projects, smart city initiatives where efficiency is paramount. They're building new, so they often install the latest tech from the start.
So Asia Pacific is the fastest adopter, but who has the biggest share of the advanced tech right now?
That's still North America currently. Around 40% market share for the more advanced systems. Strong policies encouraging upgrades and consistent investment in modernizing stadiums keep them ahead for now.
Okay, so we've got the growth, the trends, the tech. What does this all mean looking forward? What are the big opportunities?
Really, it's the continued evolution of these smart, efficient technologies. That's the core opportunity. The fundamental advantages of LED efficiency, lifespan, low maintenance, those aren't going away.
And we're seeing that reflected in actual installation.
For sure.
Okay.
The report noted a big uptick in LED installs in 2024, especially for major televised events. And those smart controls for dimming and optimization, they're becoming standard practice.
Are there other demand drivers adding fuel to the fire?
Yeah, the simple fact that nighttime sports are incredibly popular globally.
Good point. More games under lights.
Right. And that requires top-notch lighting, bright, uniform, low glare for players and fans. And don't forget broadcasting. Good LEDs make a huge difference to how games look on TV. Better color, more clarity.
It really touches everything. You mentioned energy savings. Are they really that significant? Like, give us a number.
They can be huge. Some places switching from old lights to new LEDs have reported savings up to 70%.
70. Wow.
Yeah, 70. That's a massive cut in running costs. And now with IoT, you add remote monitoring and predictive maintenance spotting problems before a light fails, which saves even more money and hassle.
Okay, it sounds almost too good to be true. Surely there are some downsides, some challenges.
There definitely are. No technology is perfect. A big one is still the upfront cost.
Ah, the initial investment.
Exactly. Installing a full stadium LED system isn't cheap. Long-term, it pays off. But that initial hit can be tough, especially for smaller clubs or venues without deep pockets.
And it might need more than just swapping bulbs, right?
Often, yes. You might need electrical system upgrades, maybe even structural changes to support the new fixtures. That adds cost and complexity.
Okay, what else? Any other roadblocks?
Well, we should also think about the environmental side of manufacturing and disposal.
How so?
LEDs are efficient to run, but making them involves certain materials, some rare earth elements.
Sorry.
So questions remain about the sustainability of production and, importantly, what happens at the end of their life. We need better recycling programs specifically for LEDs.
That's a really valid point. And what about performance? Do they always work perfectly?
Generally, they're very reliable, but extreme weather can be a factor.
Yeah.
Really high heat, for example, can impact LED efficiency and even shorten their lifespan sometimes.
So you might need extra cooling or weatherproofing?
Potentially, yeah, which can add a bit to the cost and complexity again.
All right, so looking even further ahead now, what future developments should we be watching for? What's next?
The focus will definitely stay on pushing performance, getting even more light output, higher lumens from each fixture, making them even tougher and longer lasting.
And the smart features.
That's going to keep accelerating. More sophisticated controls, definitely.
Like what kind of things?
Think more widespread wireless systems, fully automated lighting becoming the norm. Makes energy use and maintenance even easier.
And AI. Is that playing a role?
There's a lot of buzz around AI-driven lighting, systems that could automatically adapt to, I don't know, crowd density, the type of event, even subtle weather changes, all in real time.
That sounds pretty futuristic. Any recent examples pointing that way?
Well, Olympia Lighting launched some advanced fixtures in January 2024. They talked up superior performance, efficiency, better heat management,
Okay.
but also heavily featured the integrated smart controls. Remote monitoring, automated scheduling, real-time optimization, it's all moving in that direction.
And sustainability will stay key, I assume.
Absolutely. Solar-powered LED stadium lighting is a really interesting area to watch.
Solar for a whole stadium, is that feasible?
It's becoming more feasible as solar panel efficiency improves and battery storage gets better and cheaper. Especially for maybe smaller venues or places off the main grid, it's a big step towards making these installations truly sustainable.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up.
Yeah.
After this deep dive, what are the main takeaways you think people should remember about LED stadium lights?
Well, first, the market's booming, clearly. Driven by that need for efficiency and just better performance, we saw the big growth numbers.
Right, nearly 10% a year.
Exactly.
Mm.
Second, regionally, keep an eye on Asia Pacific. That's where the fastest expansion is happening. Third, the big players like Signify, Eaton, Acuity are pushing innovation hard, especially on smart tech. And finally, those advancements in smart lighting, IoT, and maybe even solar power integration are really changing the game.
So a lot of positive momentum. But what questions are still lingering? What should we still be thinking about?
Well, that upfront cost barrier is still real. How do smaller venues manage that initial investment? That's a big question.
Yeah.
And the environmental side, how do we make the whole life cycle from making the LEDs to recycling them truly sustainable? We need more progress there.
Both really crucial points. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe a final thought for you listening.
Yeah, this whole shift to LEDs in stadiums, it's more than just better lights for watching a game or a concert, you know? It really reflects this bigger trend towards sustainability, towards smarter cities, more intelligent infrastructure everywhere.
So think beyond the stadium walls.
Exactly. Consider how these kinds of smart, efficient lighting technologies might change other big lighting needs. Streetlights, warehouses, public spaces. It's a fascinating look at how tech, entertainment, and environmental thinking are all coming together.